Brandon, last question, I think.
Cool. Yeah. I like to selfishly ask this question to hear about maybe something that I can include in my routine. But I'm very curious, as highly successful people, what is the one thing that you have in your routine that is for your own self-care, for your own well-being, that is a non-negotiable for you? Something that no matter what, every single day you'll do this thing because it either primes you for the day or it helps you during your day. What is this thing that it's just part of your everyday routine that really amps you up and helps you perform at your peak?
Yeah. Wow. It's tough. I mean, there's so many things that I implement, and I think the one thing, and it varies. I think having a morning routine is so crucial, just to take that time to yourself. You're not just waking up, getting in the car and going to work, and just you want to start the day off in a positive way, any way that you can. And this changes depending on my goals for health and fitness. Sometimes it'll be a run in the morning. Sometimes it'll be lifting in the morning. Some things I always do. I always drink a tall glass of water first thing in the morning, just to get things flowing. And, like, I just set aside time for myself. I also like to read out of a book. I have The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday, which is a quote for each day. It has 365 days of the year as a quote, a passage to follow. So it's a little morning reflection. So I can really get to think. Another thing I do, and this was all part of my morning routine that I used to do, live stream as well. I'd live stream it. So I'd pull a quote from somewhere, and I'd also, not only discuss the quote and the background behind that, but I'd also talk about something that I'm grateful for that day, and encourage people to do the same thing. I think just having a morning routine, no matter what that is, setting that time for yourself, even if it's just reflection, thinking about where you're at, what you can improve on that day to be that little bit better, just like Brandon was saying. Think of that one thing and make it a non-negotiable, and work on that, even if it's the same thing, because you have a big goal in health and fitness, or you have a big goal with your relationships, and you just want to reach out to more people who you haven't talked to in a long time. Make it a point, and by making yourself better every day, by setting that time for yourself in that morning routine, it's crucial, I think, for anybody.
Woof, you're on fire. Love that. Well said, brother.
Woo, woo.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to say I have non-negotiables, and I actually don't. I think that one of the things that is important to me, and I know about myself, is that I like variety. I go through seasons, and I do try to, drink water in the morning when I get up, and eat a healthy breakfast. I've gone through seasons where I would get up and meditate and journal, and my days went well. And I've kind of gotten to a point where I know myself, and I know that sometimes I just have to circle back, and that I forgive myself when it's not, that's why I say it's not, I don't have any non-negotiables, because to me, I've had trouble in the past of being too judgmental of myself. And so I've really tried to be kinder to myself when I don't live up to my ultra high expectations. And if I fall off the horse, I just get back on, or I decide that wasn't working for me, so I'm going to get up and walk in the morning. And I've done all of these things. But being creative, I mean, this is what I do during the day, being creative, connecting with people, giving myself time to think. These are all things that are important to me, but I tend to not just, I've read the Morning Miracle, about creating a routine. I haven't done that, but I'm doing okay. And I keep trying. So I think that's probably the thing that I do, is that if I don't do something that I intend to do, I keep trying to incorporate it, and that's okay. And I forgive myself.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, that's, I just want to, because we're kind of going back and forth on if you need non-negotiables or if you don't. And I think it's
Yeah,
important.
exactly.
Once you get to that point where you get to learn yourself more, that's the beautiful thing when you start heading down the road of, you said you started to meditate, you started to journal, and you start to learn more
I still
about yourself.
do. Yeah, I still do. And it's like if I miss a day or if I miss a couple weeks, I'll think, okay, I'm going to get back to that. And I'm trying to design my life so it works for me. And being happy and loving myself is probably the most important things.
Yeah. You don't want to make it monotonous and do the same thing day in, day out, and you need to have variety. So look at when you fall off the wagon, look at it that way. Okay, I took 2-3 days off, but I'm going to jump right back on when I'm comfortable too. And as long as you're happy and you know what your goals are and you're still making progress, even though it's at your own pace, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Probably most of the time with me, it's that I actually need to do less. Got too much. Too much.
I hear you.
So I guess that leaves me.
It is you, Kevin.
I know a couple of things. There's a sign in my office that says that we're all given a platform to make a difference, and it's incumbent upon all of us to decide which direction we want to go. And I also have a saying that I tell myself every day, that everyone's depiction of success is different and that we're all on a different timetable of expectations that we set for ourselves, because if we're not willing to meet our own expectations, the first person that we have to make happy in our lives are ourselves, right? Because if we don't do that, we can't be of service to other people. So I always tell myself that every depiction of my own success is different every day. I mean, we can all have a long-term or extended goals, but one thing that I've tried to be recently is more perspective, because, one of the problems that I have, I don't want to call them a problem, but one of the issues that I have is I say yes to everything. Right, so I have to learn to prioritize myself. And one thing that I've done recently is I've turned off my computer and I give myself 10 minutes a day to sort of check in with myself and tell myself that every time an email comes into my inbox, it doesn't have to be answered immediately. Right, one of the reasons I did this was one of my former bosses said, "You email me at like 8:00 at night and I want to shut myself off." So one of the things that I've done is sort of put myself in a challenge to stop answering formal emails after 5:00. And it really has helped me sort of find my inner center, but it also reminds me that every depiction of success is different, and everyone has a different timetable, and the emails will be there in the morning when I wake up, because they don't get answered until I answer them anyway, right? So, so it's all about finding my own depiction of success and redefining my own level of expectations.
Well said.
Well said.
Yeah. And no, I don't want to stop there, Brandon. I want you to give your answer as well.
Okay. It goes along with Terry's in a way. I do have one non-negotiable, and I guess I can't call it that because sometimes I do negotiate once every now and then. So I guess we're on the same page, Terry. You win. I would say that my routine differs based on what my focus is, but it's generally always the same thing. It's exactly what you said, Jake, the morning routine. I give myself 2 hours every morning before I have to do anything, okay? And that doesn't even include, like, my movement for the day, like walking or running or whatever I'm doing. I give myself the first 30 minutes usually it's like the first 20 minutes. I'll get up, I'll get my water, I'll sit down, and I'll sit there quietly just thinking. And it's usually kind of weird. I just sit there staring at the wall, like just thinking to myself. It's my own form of just becoming awake, right? Because when you first rise, especially very early in the morning, you've got that grogginess, that haziness, but really that's like your subconscious at its most powerful.
True.
Yeah, and I just sit there and think. And my one non-negotiable that I sometimes negotiate with, but not often, is my phone. I won't look at technology, not even just my phone. I won't go on my laptop. I won't go on my phone until I've been up for at least 30 minutes. And it's exactly what you said, Kevin. Nothing can't wait. Everything can wait. Emails that have been sitting there for 3 days, they can wait. They're important, but they're not urgent, right? And I think that's a very important distinction. And as soon as I look at my phone, I then find myself, okay, I check my Facebook. Okay, now I'll look at my Instagram. Now I'll look at my LinkedIn. Now I'll check my email. It just becomes an immediate time sink, but it automatically is shooting up my brain with dopamine that I didn't really deserve because I didn't do anything to earn it. So for me, it's not looking at my phone. And it's recently, since 75 Hard, I've read every single morning. I'll read 10 pages of a book every morning, and it takes 40 minutes. I'm not the fastest reader, but it's one of the most valuable habits that I've acquired is reading just 10 pages a day. Right now I'm reading Launch by Jeff Walker. And I've read so many incredible books, but from Jocko, from Tony Robbins, or from Terry McDougall. I've read great books from. And I mean, there's so many amazing books. You have to choose like which one makes the most sense for me. But not looking at my phone and reading and really just taking that time for myself has made a profound difference in my life.
Yeah. Finding a moral center is important. And one thing I always do too, I start every morning with, at least I try to anyway, by listening to the song High Hopes by Panic of the Disco. It just puts me in the right mindset to start a day of success.
Yeah, we all have
That's cool.
our little things. I think something that's important to touch on that we all talked about in one way or another is getting away from distractions. And in our today's world, it's so easy to get bogged down in distractions, and to take that time to yourself. And actually that's where good ideas come from. That's and that's the title of one of the books that I mentioned, and that was a basis for a part of my presentation as well, is taking that time to reflect. So you're thinking to yourself, just that time that you have for deep thought. And actually this conference itself was something I thought of while on a walk. A lot of times when I go for a walk or I go for a run, I purposefully leave my phone, leave my headphones, because I don't want that distraction. I have something I'm working on, or I want to think about things and how I can develop things. And times you'll learn a lot of innovative leaders. They'll say, it's in the shower, or it's during my meditation in the morning, or it's during my daily walk with my dogs. It's that time alone by yourself that you really get to have these incredible thoughts. So I just want to jump back to a note that I said in my presentation as well, is if you reflect enough, if you have enough deep thought, you can have ideas. If you have enough passion and purpose behind those ideas, you can build something that you're really proud of. And it doesn't matter what that is. And that's where you find success. It's not in money or anything like that. It's finding it in yourself by finding balance through everything that we talked about in this conference today. Just awesome. I couldn't ask for a better team. One thing I want to apologize for the technical difficulties, but I hope everybody who jumped in here got value from these presentations and saw that we're really all just trying to give value to you. So if any one of us, or if all four of us connected with you, reach out to us, talk to us, and we're more than willing to talk back and answer any questions that you have. The greatest thing that we're looking for is just connecting with more people. So that's really what this is all about. Go find us on LinkedIn, go find us on Facebook, go follow or subscribe to our YouTube channels, whatever you find best. and don't be afraid to reach out to us.